What's that one embarrassing moment that keeps coming back to haunt you? I was starting out as a teacher in this English course, and one day I had a bad diarrhea in the short break between two classes. All of my colleagues were gathered in the teacher's room, waiting for the next class to start. I entered the bathroom connected to the room to relieve myself, and as I was finished I was embarrassed of opening the door to the room and let everybody smell the reminiscent odor. So I had the brilliant idea of opening the glass window of the bathroom to let the wind circulate a little before opening the door. The window was stuck, and as I forced it, it fell, breaking in a million pieces on the floor. Everybody heard the noise and knocked on the door. I had to open it, and they not only smelled the horrible diarrhea, but also figured out my attempt to open the window to get rid of it. LOL. It was so humiliating. My middle school did a program where a bunch of Japanese students came to visit our school for a couple weeks. I was assigned as a buddy to show someone around and stuff. And at the end of their visit here, they all took a trip to New York City. Only a few of the American students came along, but I was among them. The Japanese teachers wanted to be inclusive, so they took the mic that the bus driver uses to make announcements and kind of like awkwardly interviewed each of us in broken English, though the students didn't seem all that interested. When it was my turn, I got the typical "what do you like to do?" which I tried to shut down quickly with a simple "oh, I'm in choir. I like to sing sometimes." "Oh, why don't you sing for us?" And suddenly, the mic is in my hand. I really am not one for singing solos, especially in front of a bus full of students who probably don't know what the duck is going on. I guess the teacher picked up on this, so she encouraged me to sing a Christmas song, because those are the only songs that the kids would be able to sing along to in English. So I'm thinking, okay, it won't be too bad if they all join in, right? So I start, "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer." Silence. I painfully sing the entire song, a cappella, completely solo, all eyes on me. Finally, the pain ends, and I crumble into my seat as awkward polite applause ensues. But this wasn't enough for the teacher. She wanted this to be a participatory event, and she didn't care who had to suffer in order to make that happen. So what does she do? Okay, try again. But this time everyone sing along. I pray for it to be a dream. But somehow, the mic is in my hand yet again. Expecting eyes upon me. At this point, all dignity is lost, so I figure why not? Again, I start the song, and again, I sing it completely alone. Duck my life. I was a hibachi server. We use these little bottles to squirt sake into people's mouths. I had a party of like 20 people. After the show and everything, the owner goes up to the table and asks them if they had a good time. One of the customers jokingly says, "I don't think we got enough sake." Owner then hands me 2 bottles and asks me to go back to the kitchen to fill them with sake. So I run back to the kitchen and see 2 boxes of shochikube sake. One of them has Sharpie writing in Chinese all over it. This will become important in a moment. So I randomly pick a box of sake to fill the squirt bottles with, and the manager and I ask them who wants more sake. Several people kind of cheer because they are hammered, so the owner starts rainbowing sake into one person's mouth, while I do the same to another patron. Suddenly the patron's eyes go wide, just as I noticed something strange. Under the harsh lighting, the liquid I'm squirting into this young woman's mouth is glistening. It also looks quite shiny running down her face and onto the front of her sundress. So I stop spraying sake at her as she swallows and says, "Ooh, what the heck was that?" It was vegetable oil. The Chinese writing said vegetable oil. I do not read Chinese. Too long didn't read, force-fed a birthday girl half a cup of vegetable oil instead on getting her drunk. My mom threw me a graduation party. She had the party in the community room of the local rescue squad and had a table full of food. No one came. Most of the people she invited were fellow graduates, so they had their own thing going on. We gave the food to the rescue squad people. I mostly felt horrible for my mom. Just writing this story made me feel like shit, and it has been 25 years since this happened. When I was in grade 8 we had to give a presentation on a Greek god. I chose to do my project on Zeus. However, I was nervous, and for some reason referred to him as Zesus Jesus with a Z. The presentation was like 8 minutes long, and I said it wrong countless times. It wasn't until I finished the presentation a kid asked, "You do know it's pronounced Zeus, right?" Once in middle school I was invited to an indoor blow-up inflatable playground because I had completed the 1 million pages challenge. One of the blow-up inflatable stations was a Velcro wall where you put on a Velcro jumpsuit and then a bungee cord flings you back really fast. With my boyfriend at the time watching, I got hooked up. However, instead of swinging me up and backwards, it flung me down and back, causing me to land with my head between my legs upside down, the weight of my body on my neck with my whole ass hanging out. I opened my eyes while I was still upside down with my head still between my legs and saw his eyes wide with horror. He just walked away like he didn't know me, then broke up with me later the same day. I was at the airport one time, and during the security check-in, one of the TSA people stuck his hand out in front of me. I proceeded to give him a high five thinking he's trying to be friendly, only to realize that he meant for me to wait in line. Feeling red-faced thinking at it right now. I was about 13, into shock humor and all that. Just being inappropriate and in trying to make a friend uncomfortable. Said his mom had nice tits. He laughed it off. Months later, maybe a year or more, I visit his house with him to stay the night. He introduces me as the friend who said you have nice tits. Easily the worst first impression I've ever made. And she laughed about it and said thanks. But a lesson was learned, and I'm a better man for it. Freezing up in the middle of a best man speech. My brain just went completely blank. I had never had a problem with stage fright before, so it caught me off guard and made it worse. I peed on my crush's couch after falling asleep post-party, marking your territory. When I was in first grade, I had just recently moved to Oklahoma. My class was doing a showcase for the school assembly in 2 weeks. We were going to do some line dancing, and I was paired up with a boy I really liked for part of the routine. I practiced like a maniac in an attempt to assimilate to my new country classmates' way of life. I guess I had forgotten to give a note to my parents saying that they wanted us to wear cowboy boots for the performance. I showed up to the showcase in flip-flops. The partner section starts happening and I'm kicking my legs like I'm a rocket. My flip-flop flies off into the crowd and hits an older kid in the face. I immediately stop in the middle, but the people behind me didn't get the memo that I launched a projectile into the crowd. The person behind me runs into me and falls into the crowd. This has a domino effect and causes a mini pile-up of 7-year-olds. I hobble off the stage into the bathroom with only one flip-flop. I cried while I waited for my teacher to give me back my shoe. I was doing a stupid cleanse diet that involved drinking large amounts of psyllium husk powder. After 4 days without a bowel movement, I ended up fainting on the toilet while straining to squeeze out a huge log of shit. My younger brother heard me falling and hitting my head against the bathtub. He rushed in to find me passed out on the floor, naked with shit smeared between my legs and all down the front of the toilet. This was years ago, and my brother and I can laugh at it now, but the memory still sneaks up on me at night when I'm trying to get to sleep. So I was interviewing for a job in the BO industry early on in my career, and it was a panel interview with about 10 people. They asked me what would set me apart from other candidates. So I went into the normal spiel about being a fast learner and easily cross-training in multiple areas. As soon as I said that, one of the guys laughed and a few jaws dropped, and I quickly realized that instead of saying cross-training, I said cross-dressing. What sets me apart from other candidates? Cross-dressing. I did not get the job. The time I did choir and fell down the stairs in front of the state judges and then couldn't get back up because I kept stepping on my robe, so my friend had to lift me. Went to the gym and felt the urge to poo, probably due to the pre-workout. Did my business cleaned up and proceeded to run my best mile ever on the treadmill. Noticed I was getting a lot of stares and shrugged it off until I noticed some toilet paper on the ground. That's weird, I thought. Turns out I had a bunch of toilet paper in my shorts the whole time. Needless to say, I moved to a different country and started a new life. Went to the urinal to take a piss before a C-level meeting and tried to squeeze out a fart and shit myself. I had to clean up in a stall and call in sick from the bathroom. I exited the building out a back fire exit. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.